What is up, Gothamites, and any new people to the channel? This is my Gotham Season 5 info kind of video. Essentially, quite a few of you have been asking me to break down what David Mazouz has said at San Diego Comic-Con and just in other talks with other outlets and things like that. In case you didn't know, there's quite a bit of a misconception going around that there would be a Season 5 trailer, and then where was Gotham at Comic-Con? Didn't happen. But we did get a couple of little nuggets of information, which I will share in this video and then give my opinion on and what I think, you know, could happen. And that's my opinion. That's what opinion is, I guess. Anyway, if you're not subscribed to this channel, why not subscribe right there? Click the button and the bell, because it does wonderful things and you get a free Batarang in the post if you do that. Also, be sure to hit that like button, guys, as it really does show your support for the channel and it really does help this video fly in the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, amongst going over questions like how did he feel about Gotham getting cancelled, what was his reaction, what was he doing at the time, and then how did he feel when it got picked up for this 5th and final season, he did say that he does want Ben McKenzie, aka Jim Gordon, in the show to actually sport a mustache, or at least kind of start to grow one, and he does actually even hint that that will be happening. So we're just gonna have to wait and see, I guess, to see if Ben McKenzie is gonna grow out a beard at least from here on out. Right now, I don't think he does have any facial hair. But that doesn't mean that throughout the duration of the season he's not going to grow some scruff, and then you might get a comment from like Harvey Bullock saying, hey Jim, I reckon, you know, if you shaved that off and just kept the mustache, that would look pretty good, you know, it might suit you. I think that's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't they do that? Fair enough, you know, he's not quite like old Jim Gordon or Commissioner Jim Gordon yet, but I honestly think, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you tease the fans with that? Give him a little bit of scruff. Get somebody to say, hey, I reckon you'd look good at that. Or, you know, in terms of the glasses, Jim could just be saying something in an episode and then Harvey might just be like, hey, go get an eye test. And then Jim could like par that off saying, no, and be stubborn about it. But it would be a lovely little Easter egg to the future Jim Gordon look that we know and love. But another reason as to why I think the mustache might happen is because, you know, I quote here, he says this: besides having Batman and Catwoman and the mustache finally appear, he said it like in a sentence like that. So I was just like, maybe it could be wrong. You can't always take what an actor says as confirmed, official, like this is happening. But I feel like what he said there, he may have slipped up, you know, because, you know, we are getting Batman, we are actually getting Catwoman by the end, you know, at their very early forms, and it just seems like in that sentence he let slip that the mustache will be coming as well. But I do want to stress that he could have said it that way, but he didn't mean it to come across that way. So this is why you can never really take this stuff purely like biblically, canonically gonna happen in Season 5. David then teases that some people who may have left Gotham or seemingly left Gotham may have actually stayed behind. Now, I can't really think of too many other people apart from Alfred, and at the very least Selina maybe, but she might actually be at some kind of hospital on the outskirts, or maybe she did get out in time or something like that. But at the very least, I think he's talking about Alfred here. Maybe Selina got left into care and he just came back for Bruce, I don't know. But he did say people who may have left may have actually stayed, you don't know. But he was also careful to not give too much away. He then goes on to say that the first 4 episodes of Gotham Season 5 are very character-based. And by the way, if you haven't seen my freaking video, there's the card about the first 4 episodes. He just goes on to say within like Gotham Season 5 and the first 4 episodes in particular, and I guess the whole season really, if you think about it, there is absolutely no order, which is kind of obvious anyway. This is no man's land. There is no order, or power is order, he says in his own words, and that is very true. You've got all these villains with different sectors of the city being controlled by them. You've got Penguin, you've got Mr. Freeze, you've got Firefly, you've got Scarecrow, you've got all kinds of people, and then you've got Jerome in the shadows. Why did I say Jerome? That's going to make people upset now. I mean Jeremiah in the shadows, and I got a tease about that as well, which you guys should stick around to at a certain point in the video. Yes, I'm cruel. David then goes to talk about why Batman and like why Bruce in Gotham becomes Batman, and it is like the known canon way as well. But in his words, it is more true now than ever with the events that is going on in the city and in Season 5. But really just summed up, it's why Bruce essentially finds Batman essential for Gotham City. He goes on to say how No Man's Land is this perfect segue for Bruce to become and rise up as Batman, to dress up as a bat. So he says, and this gives away, you know, if you connect the dots in Season 5, but it's nothing, this is why it's nothing massively new, that Bruce learns that the police department can't do what he can. For Bruce in this season, it's like he realizes a vigilante is what is necessary to protect and bring Gotham back to order. And as we know, guys, Gotham is the complete complete opposite right now. So that's exciting to just think about. It's like we already knew this anyway, but just hearing these words, you know, like Bruce realizing that being a vigilante is the only way to bring order back to Gotham, and this is why he dresses up as a bat, because he essentially says that the GCPD is absolutely incapable of saving the city and bringing order back to Gotham. So yeah, obvious stuff, but like now just like envisioning this all happening and just seeing that Bruce and imagining Bruce going through this transition and thinking, well, if anyone's got to do this, it's got to be me. I'm going to have to, hey, fancy dress shop? No, you got a bat suit? No? Okay, my boy Lucius, have you? Yeah. Oh, you got one? Okay, move on from there. Now, on to the Mr. J tease. David essentially says that Bruce may or may not have a showdown with somebody beginning with the name J. But in other talks with comicbook.com, he said that you will definitely see a Bruce and Jeremiah showdown. And he was even asked, will this top the Jerome showdown he had, you know, at the circus, or the carnival, sorry. And he said, you will have to wait and see. So, guys, imagine all-out Jeremiah and all-out Bruce. Like, do you know what? Like, the reason why I wanted to talk about this so much is if there is another big, maybe even fisticuffs with like what happened with Jerome in the glass room in the carnival and stuff like that, but with Jeremiah, like what if this is their segue where they can just tease somewhere in between this, or maybe at the end of it. I don't think Jeremiah will die or anything like that, but like what if somehow they incorporate a tease, or like what I've been talking about all this time of the real Joker, the third Joker, the final Joker, the guy who's been out there this whole time paying attention to the Valeskas. That is officially what the show has put forward as their arc, because they haven't been able to actually use the Joker name, so they've had to come up with this way of still using the Joker mythos in the show, and that was inspiration. So I'm hoping that with this big massive showdown with Jeremiah, they might be able to Easter eggy tease at the very least that guy who is just in the shadows out there somewhere in Gotham City taking the inspiration. I don't know, guys. I know some of you freaking hate that, but like some of you are then reassured, though, but what if it is a clone, and then like that clone, and at the end of season 2 is wondering why he looks like Jerome and Jeremiah, and he's got the same brain chemistry or something like that, and he's thinking, oh, these two people are looking like me and acting like this, oh, maybe I'm gonna draw these ideas, culminate both of them into one little freaking image, and he becomes the ultimate third and final Joker, the Joker who will go on to fight Batman. But it has been said by executive producer John Stevens that Jeremiah and Jerome aren't the proto-Jokers, or you know, who will go up and face Bruce one day when he is the Batman. So when asked about the suit, and they even gave comparisons about, you know, what about Smallville, and how at that very last couple of seconds we saw the S, would there be anything like that? And he was just like, he can't give anything away. And he was even asked, and I found this interesting, like what are the final steps you're taking, like any weights or anything like that for the last season in terms of like, you know, becoming the Batman, you know, because assumingly you want somebody who's built to put on the bat emblem and the cowl and everything, right? And all he had to reply to that is, things are in motion. Now, unless this guy is drinking a shite load of protein and literally jacking himself up throughout the early filming of Gotham season 5, which I maybe he is, but like I don't think he's gonna put on like 30 pounds of muscle or anything, and he doesn't necessarily need to put on 30 pounds. But you know what I mean. I think the things are in motion thing is the suit's getting made. It's going to kind of complement David's figure, I think, by adding a little bit of a muscle layer potentially. You know how the superhero suits these days, some of them have a little bit of padding underneath. I do have to admit, after seeing the Robin suit in Titans, it kind of made me think of David Mazouz wearing something kind of similar, like a newbie Batman suit. However, Robin in Titans, you know, Dick Grayson, that guy, the actor, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, he is a lot more built. He just is, even though at a distance in the Robin costume, he kind of looks not like as huge as Batman. He's kind of like a skinny Robin. But David Mazouz isn't even at that level. But it still gave me like that image of, oh, you know, I can imagine David Mazouz in a similar Titans-esque kind of Batman-y suit. You kind of get the drift I'm going with here. Things are in motion. I think it's the suit being developed, you know, and it's got to actually look good on Bruce. He would have definitely, or soon anyway, would be trying out that Batman suit that they're going to give him this year, if not very, very soon. So in other news, guys, Cameron Bicondova said in a couple of stories, I believe on Instagram, that she is wearing a wig. She's definitely going to wear one. However, I think maybe as a result of whatever happens in the hospital or whatever, blah, 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 they might, you know, in the show's world, cut her hair, and that will give her this shorter Catwoman look, you know, because some people are thinking, oh, why has she got such short hair? Because that is a very much so Catwoman look. Also, Selina is getting a new costume this year, and that doesn't really surprise me. I guess if they're turning her into Catwoman as well, like giving her that final step into the Catwoman, she will be sporting more of maybe the typical kind of Selina Kyle Catwoman attire that we're used to seeing in the comics and whatnot. And as for where like Selina and Bruce are and how she will go into her like Catwoman more character traits, this is what David had to say about that. When we first see them again, it's gonna be a rocky road because obviously Selina is going to be pretty pissed at Bruce. Ultimately, it was Jeremiah who wanted to get to Bruce, and that's why he shot Selina, and that's what put her in this state. Eventually, they're going to be back on the same side, but Selina is going to be a different person. The way that she fights her way out of a hospital bed forces her to sacrifice some parts of herself, and that she's going to be more Catwoman-y, but less somebody that Bruce can be friends with. So this, you can kind of see they're going to transition. We've seen the character elements across the seasons of Bruce and Selina getting close, and then Selina does the typical like guarded kind of thing, but now she might be like very Catwoman-y, you know, because sometimes in the comics she is a bit cold, but she's got that underlayer where she is a nice person. But you know, you guys know Catwoman, so I think we're going to see a lot more of that. Now, in the last dose of news for this video, there has been casting calls for corpse villagers. It must be okay with laying down and covered in vines. Makeup to look grey, dry, and drained of life. So is Ivy going to be in No Man's Land and have her own little section covered by vines and, you know, Ivy-esque powers? I would love that. I didn't know what was going on with Peyton, to be honest, and I still don't. God forbid they recast her. Like, oh my god. But honestly, like with Ivy still out there, everyone's saying like, "Where's Ivy?" Blah 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 blah. She was only having like I think 3 episodes last season. Then obviously, comic book logic as to where she was, just in real life, just no more than 3 episodes. That was that. But in season 5, it'd be awesome as there's only like 10 episodes apparently. You know, she appears and then there is the little sector that's, you know, has vines. It would just be so awesome to have Poison Ivy having a sector of her own city in this freaking apocalyptic Batman Gotham. But other than that, everyone, that is the video. So let me know what your favorite piece of info or what excited you the most in the comment section down below. I'm sure it's probably the Jeremiah and Bruce showdown or something like that. Let me know what you thought of my opinions, and let me know your own opinions based on these teases for Gotham Season 5. Other than that, everyone, be sure to check out my last Gotham video, which should be appearing up there on the card. I believe it was to do with something Gotham-y related. Be sure to like this video and share it with your friends, as it really does show your support for the channel. Be sure to subscribe to this channel to never miss out on a single Gotham Season 5 video just like this, and also be sure to check out some of my other videos as well on Titans, any other DC comic book nerdy content should be right up your street. As always, everybody, links are in the description to my social media, to Patreon where you can support the channel even more and pledge, but also get rewards in return. I think that's everything, so thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.